Hi folks, I was just thinking about your week 3 assignment, and I thought I'd talk to you really quick about what was expected, what the outcomes are for the week 3 assignment, which we're calling proper keylight placement. But if I let me just open up your instructions for you for a moment, because basically I want to make sure that the concept is making its way home to you. In other words, this might be a good rainy day project. You can work on this inside. You only need one light. You don't have to use three-point lighting on your subject for this. In fact, the whole point of this exercise is for you to move your key light around in a sort of clockwork fashion and take a look at what different positions are going to yield as you move that key light around in terms of shape and texture, maybe color saturation of your subject. So see how much detail you can get by moving that key around to the back, to the front, so forth, and play around with it a little bit. Now, you might need a little bit of room. In other words, you're not going to be able to do this in a really cramped bedroom, or a small den or living room. You're going to need a little room to work. So give yourself as much space as you can, so that you can move your light around properly without getting in the way of, things like what I got in here, a mash of stuff that's in the way. But let's take a look at this instruction sheet for a moment. So once upon a time it was called the shot clock. And it's determining proper key position. So basically, the project's going to revisit your lighting concepts from prior weeks, three-point lighting and so forth from week 1 and 2. The key light can have a pronounced effect on the way viewers perceive characters and their portrayal. In this exercise, you're going to learn to explore beyond three-point lighting by experimenting with different key light positions and color, and examine how this relates to mood and tone in your lighting. So you're going to need your MacBook and your camera and your lighting kit. You're going to put some video up on YouTube. You're going to provide me with a link to your video portion, and then you're going to move some freeze frames from your video clips onto a little worksheet. So you're going to want to download that worksheet. It is also on the assignment 3 page under the download section, so you're going to want to download it. There's also a concepts sheet, and I want to talk to you about that really quick. The Keylight concepts sheet is basically going to talk to you again about the principles of the assignment and what you should be deriving in terms of lessons learned. So as you shoot, keep these concepts in mind. Remember from your text that one of the most important tools we can employ as filmmakers is visual metaphor, the idea that an image has a literal meaning and an implied meaning at the center of the most dramatic lighting discussions. In visual storytelling, few other conventions are as effective as or as powerful as lighting. And good lighting can communicate complex ideas non-verbally, but with emphasis on mood and tone. So it's the perfect 1-2 punch when combined with good cinematography. Therefore, finding the correct key light placement is the first step in understanding the story context of your entire lighting setup. So here's a little ancient inscription off of a grip truck from the old days. In the beginning, God made the cinematographer. God saw the cinematographer and said he was good. The cinematographer saw God and said, "Turn your head so it is backlighted." And God said, "But I'm God." Then the cinematographer said, "I don't care who you are. Front lighting is no good." And God turned his head. That, my friends, is the power of the lighting department. We're looking to create shape, form, and texture. Flat front lighting does not reveal significant shape or texture in a subject. It renders poorly in 2 dimensions what dramatic lighting achieves, the suggestion of 3-dimensional quality in a 2-dimensional medium. As lighting moves around the side toward the back of a subject, the various details, texture, and geometric shape and form are seen to emerge. This is important for defining the depth of a shot, but also to establish the feel of a scene or the mood of a character's performance. In the end, it might help reveal story points that are not clearly defined by the dialogue. So these are important things to remember. What are we doing? We're lighting our films in such a way that we can make our characters look, scary or happy or romantic or, whatever the dialogue suggests. But at the forefront of all of this is choices about framing, choices about lighting, choices about, composition overall. And so it's one of the big 3, right? Lensing, composition, lighting. We're going to dig into that a little bit by moving your key light around, just your key light. You don't need anything else, like I said before. You don't need an edge light. You don't need a fill light. I got one light on me right now, and I think it's fine. In fact, I turned everything off, everything else, just so you could get a look at what one light looks like on, your instructor. I got it bouncing off of the wall and kind of 45 degrees off axis to my relationship to the laptop camera, and it's one light, right? It's one light in one position, and if you could put a clock face over the top of me, we might say that my key position right now is at let's see, what would that be? 1 o'clock. Right? If we were looking down on me and there was a clock face superimposed over me right now. Actually, for you guys, I think it's 11 o'clock. For me, it would be 1 o'clock. From my point of view, I should say. So the idea is take a look at that key light as it moves across. So if it's at 11 o'clock from your position, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and back to 11 o'clock, right? You don't have to do all the ticks on the clock because we get it after a while, as the light moves, you're going to see it moving. And the other idea is we want to see how the light changes. Now this is, again, from your point of view, 11 o'clock, right? It's also above my eye level. So what happens when we move that key light down to my eye level? So we've got above eye level, and below eye level. So what would that light look like if I moved it from up there to down there, right? What would that look like? So that's what the sheet's about. You need to shoot video so you can see your subject moving in space, in their composition. How does it look like when the character looks into their key, looks away from their key? You want to investigate all of that from that particular lighting position and look at the modeling. This is probably a video file you may want to keep for a while and reference back to from time to time, and just look at what light looks like as it hits somebody from all these different positions. Now, if you take some cardinal points on the clock, like noon, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, say 4:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, right? There's 8 shots, right? And if you do a high angle, an eye level angle, and a low angle, that's 3 versions of 8 shots. So you should have 24 frame grabs from your video clips that you can put into your worksheet. And the worksheet is also in the download section of the LMS. Let's take a look at that really quick. So here it is, and it's making note of the cardinal points. So there's 4 primaries: noon, 3, 6, and 9, and then there's 4 secondaries: 1, 5, 7, and 11. And you could vary that a little bit. You could say 4:30, 7:30, 10:30, and 1:30. If you want to be a little bit more evenly dispersed. But that just gives you a basic idea. And then, of course, you've got your light heights here, your above eye level, and your below eye level, or your low angle. And you're just going to keep that in mind as you plug these things in. Let me go to the next page. You got little drag and drop boxes. If you download the Pages version of this worksheet, you can drag and drop. Or if you have a version of Adobe Reader Acrobat Pro like I've got, you can actually edit this PDF. That's why I give you the PDF as well in case you're a PC user. And you can then drag and drop images into your PDF. So you can do it either way. And I think I've given you enough pages to do what you need to do. So it should be 6 times 4 is 24 images. And then at the end, I want you to record your observations. So you're going to, at the end of the worksheet, just tell me what you saw. Tell me what you learned from this exercise. Talk about it a little bit. Let me know what positions you thought were the best in terms of the lighting for that subject you were working with. Let me know what heights you liked, whether you like above the eye lighting, below the eye lighting. Tell me what you saw, and tell me briefly what you learned. Okay, just a couple paragraphs is probably fine, and then put your YouTube link right down here at the very bottom of the last page, so I can look at your video and get an idea of what your subject looked like moving around in their performance space. Okay, so that's basically the gist of the assignment. It probably take you 2 or 3 hours, I think. To do it properly, take your time. Pay attention to what you see happening around you. Try to have fun with this. I mean, after all, this is this is a gateway into your filmmaking career. So try to make the best of it and enjoy yourself. I don't think this is a terribly difficult assignment. It's more about discovery, first and foremost. What do you observe? And can you tell me what you saw? And then you might want to, like I say, hold on to this clip for, a few months or a couple of years and reference back to it from time to time whenever you trying to make some decisions about lighting in a pre-production situation. I think that's all of the downloads for the assignment. Let's take a quick look here. There is a rubric that you can download if you want to take a look at what the grading is based on. It's fairly standard. You've seen this type of thing before. Looking at your quality of work, I'm looking at whether or not your documents are organized, whether or not your video is properly produced. In other words, if you use sound or a soundtrack underneath, is it properly balanced? Is it, does it seem to match the tone of the piece? Are your exposures well calculated and rendered? Do you have the right color balance and so forth? It's basically crafting a video, and there's no reason not to expect you to turn in a well-crafted piece of homework, even if it is a mechanical assignment. Everything that you turn in actually should be, the highest quality that you can render based on your experience up to this point. So have at it. If you have questions about the assignment, if it's giving you trouble or if you're confused in some way, shape, or form, obviously you can reach out to me. We can do a personal go-to session. I will put this video on my YouTube page so you can access it from there. I will put a link to this video in the go-to section of the LMS so you can find it. And give this one a try. I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to learn a lot. I haven't had a student yet who hasn't done this assignment and come out with some pretty positive ideas about lighting and some really inspired directions that they want to take their lighting on future projects. So let's see what you can come up with. And You can reach out to me through email or through my office phone. Give me a call. It's posted on the LMS, and I will return your call as soon as I can. The same with the email. You know, depending on when and where you send it, I will return it, answer it as soon as possible. Have fun with this, and remember the PDFs. Download them, read them, have them with you when you do the assignment. It's not hard, shouldn't take you long, but hopefully you'll have fun. All right, and that's what it's all about, right? So have a good night, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.